Well, hello everybody, and I hope welcome back to Bear Family Farms for take 2 of the intro to chicken chores here on the weekend. My camera is being a little weird, so as I make this, it's kind of hit or miss as to whether or not I'm actually going to get to share it with you. But anyway, it's Saturday, so it's chicken chore day, so I'm coming out here to scoop up some chicken poop. And I finally have kind of figured out what I'm going to do with it. I know a lot of you have expressed concerns about the fact that it's still a little nitrogen hot when it comes out of here and needs some time to compost and blah blah blah. So I have a plan, and I thought today I would share that with you, you know, as I go throughout my afternoon cleaning up after these hens. But first off, let's look at, well, some of the basic hen stuff. Here we have the surviving Betty White. Seems to be doing quite well, and this pretty girl has given us perfect eggs the last 3 days in a row. So I'm thinking she's a little happier and healthier. Not quite sure what was going on there in the past, but the weather is warming up, the days are getting longer. There are lots of things that really could be contributing to her improved layer status. But good for you, Betty. Be proud of yourself. Yeah, rocking on. And out to the front, we're getting that coop door open more often. I got to go out there and scoop some poop out there today too. But that means that they are getting access to very fine bits of gravel and rocks and dirt and stuff that they can kick around in and, well, just kind of mow down. It's been suggested by a few people that I get sand and grit and all that, but basically that's available out in the run, which, like I said, right now is kind of covered in poop. You got a lot to say there, Miss Betty. Yeah. Okay, so about the food, we take a look in here, you can kind of see that I have begun mixing in wild bird seed. I picked up a 16 kilogram bag of this stuff for, I don't know, it was like 23 bucks after tax. And it's a pretty decent mix of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's intended for wild birds and not chickens in the shed. But the decision I made after the tragic update regarding the other Betty is that while they are here, I want them to experience bird life as best as they can, and that kind of means eating seeds and stuff. So as you can see, this particular Betty, she's very interested in it, and Bunty and Patches were the other day as well, but it's sunny outside, so oh, here we got Bunty back. I figure this is bound to be better for them. You know, it's a more natural food source. Someone mentioned to me in a previous comment, might have been Marcy over at Learning Curve Acres, that commercial feeds tend to have arsenic in them, basically to encourage the animals to eat more. You know, you sell more feed that way. And I thought that was kind of strange, but tragically believable, because most companies are kind of sketchy. But I was giving them the feed anyway, because it was affordable and I couldn't find whole grain feed anywhere around, really, other than buying these big bags of wild bird seed, which are not necessarily calculated and formulated for chickens. But since I've been working at the hog barn, I've noticed that both of these feeds smell the same when they get wet, and I find that particular smell to be quite offensive. So thinking that might be maybe even the arsenic that I'm smelling, or just whatever goes along with processing these meals and feeds, I have decided to start, integrating the wild bird seed into their diet. And I'm hoping, you know, spring, summer, fall, when more natural wild foods are available, these girls will be more interested in eating them because they'll be like the diet they're used to. And as I mentioned, you know, we can see here that Betty, at least, she is down with the bird seed. So, right on. Anything that lets them be happier birds for the rest of their time with us totally works for me. And as I said, the last few days we have also seen an egg consistently from this beautiful white chicken. So, maybe she just needed that step up towards more natural foods. I don't know. I never claimed to be a chicken guru. I am a chicken novice, but I'm really enjoying having them and sharing what I'm learning kind of along the way. So yeah, I occasionally put down little piles of it now, and I have been mixing a handful or two in with their feed, and it looks like most of the seeds around the edge have been pulled out already. I can see a few around there, so they're not being overly selective about it yet. I'm going to start mixing some diatomaceous earth in with their seed and feed as well, as a good kind of a natural dewormer. But all in all, things I think are going well with the 3 remaining hens, and I am still very much looking forward to getting a few more. Those of you who live in town and the RM who watch these videos, I'm counting on you to keep my back here, because they're not hurting anybody, are they? So, that's right, Betty, you sing the song of your people. Anyway, I need to get started scooping this up, so I guess I'll share kind of the rest of what my plan is, and we'll get back to it. These ladies have been producing an incredible amount of poop, obviously. You know, chickens do that, animals do that, and it has been piling up in a few different locations over the course of the winter, because I didn't really have as good of a winter plan as I thought maybe I did. One of the places it's been piling up is just outside their main door here. I've got that ice fishing sled, and it's pretty loaded down and packed up with the chicken poo, so it's going to have to go somewhere. And yeah, I think I have decided where. But also, there's this pile that's growing beside the doghouse. He doesn't use it anyway, and kind of in front of the chicken run. That has gotten pretty massive, and you can see in here there are a couple of eggs that were laid with soft shells, so we can clearly see their yolks and stuff, and that's all going to need to get mixed in and mixed through as the weather warms. But I can't just leave this here, right? I'm going to have to turn it a few times, and I'm thinking as I do that, it might just be time to make another hugel mound. I've got lots and lots of trees to still bring down. I got lots of sticks and twigs and stuff, and so that's my carbon source, right? I got lots of wood, and if the nitrogen in the chicken manure is still too much technically, and it'll potentially burn my seedlings and stuff, I don't want to do that with it. So I'll use that nitrogen to break down the carbon in yet another kind of raised bed situation. I think I've got the one mound right there. It's a little hard to tell under the snow because it's kind of changed the landscape of the yard area, but yeah, come thaw, I'll figure out where to do that, and I'll start moving. Should be able to see them over by the fire pit. There's a pile of twigs there, and then just behind the logs, you can see just in front of the stumps, well, in front of the stumps and behind the logs, there's another pile of twigs. So I've got a good start to making a nice large hugel mound, and I'll spend the spring and summer putting that together, and then that will have the fall, hello Shadow, the fall and winter to break down and get ready, and should be ready for the garden of 2020. So yeah, always planning ahead around here, you know. Should plan to paint that doghouse one of these days. Looking a little weathered, but one of those things. Came with the property. We use it as a decoration because the dog doesn't use it for anything. I have found it to be a nice comfortable seat in the summertime though. Upcoming projects, I'd like to tap some of these beautiful Manitoba maple trees. I know they're not the richest in sugar, but they do have some in their sap, and they are after all maples. I have a few large ones around. Kind of tricky to get to right now though. And the temperature is staying, well, far colder than usual. So we're not quite at time to tap, even though it's already into March. But it will be coming up soon, next couple of weeks. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get to those larger ones. But I do have some cheap maple taps and hoses off Amazon. So I'll be sharing that with you guys in a Permaculture Pirate free sweeteners, natural sweeteners, something along those lines kind of video. But oh, that wind is cold, cold, cold. But I think because of that cold, cold, cold wind on my fingertips, that's probably where I'm going to wrap this video up for the day. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not entirely sure if my camera is even playing along. So hopefully I've caught all these clips, and hopefully it stayed relatively in focus. Thank you all for joining me here today on Bear Family Farms, and a huge welcome to all of you newcomers. I noticed the channel is still growing at an extremely Well, incredible rate. I'm blown away by how many people are subbing up to the channel in the last few months, and it's a blessing to have you in the community. Please feel free to enter your 2 bits down in the comments below. I love to get to know the people that are watching these little shows, and I love hearing the advice that you all are so free to offer. So take care of yourselves, take care of your livestock, and I will see you in the next video.